Hello, friends. The river carries me past groves of peepal trees, where the wind seems to hum 100 different philosophies. We have sailed through hymns and rituals, through kings and farmers, but now we come to a time when questions begin to outweigh answers. Welcome to the age of Shramana. Imagine walking away from your home, not for war, not for trade, not for pilgrimage, but for truth. The Shramanas were seekers, wanderers who stepped outside the framework of the Vedic order. They challenged the dominance of the Brahmanas, questioned the authority of the Vedas, and asked, what if liberation doesn't come from sacrifice, but from detachment? Some renounced wealth and family, living in forests or beneath open skies. Their goal? To break the cycle of birth and rebirth through self-discipline, meditation, and ethical living. They were not a single group, rather a tapestry of movements. Jainism, Buddhism, Ajivikas, and other lesser-known sects emerged during this time, each offering its own path to salvation. Jainism taught that all living beings have souls bound by karma, and only through strict nonviolence and austerity could one free the soul. Buddhism, founded by Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, shifted focus from gods and rituals to the Four Noble Truths and the middle path. The Ajivikas took an entirely different route, believing in absolute determinism. Every event in the universe was preordained, and human effort was powerless to change it. What made these movements so potent was not just their spiritual depth, but their accessibility. The Vedic world had become deeply stratified. Knowledge, ritual, and power were tightly held by a few. The Shramanas opened the door to all who sought truth, regardless of caste or gender. A farmer could listen to the Buddha's teachings after a day in the fields. A potter could debate philosophy in the marketplace. And yet, the Shramana challenge wasn't a complete rejection of Vedic culture. It was a conversation, sometimes heated, sometimes respectful. Kings patronized both Brahmanas and Shramanas, perhaps hedging their bets for divine favor. Urban centers like Rajagriha and Varanasi became hubs of debate, where you could hear a priest defending the fire sacrifice in one corner and a monk advocating meditation in another. The rivers themselves played a part in this ferment. Just as they carried goods and grain, they carried ideas. Monks traveled along river routes, stopping at villages to teach, to argue, to plant the seeds of new thought. And just as a river can erode stone over centuries, the Shramanas slowly reshaped the spiritual landscape. Of course, the Shramana movements didn't exist in a vacuum. They thrived in a changing economy, trade routes expanding, cities growing, political alliances shifting. In such a restless age, the idea that truth might be found within rather than in the grand rituals of the past had a powerful pull. Yet, as the sun sets on this stretch of history, a shadow falls across the old Vedic order. The chants are still sung, the sacrifices still performed, but the monopoly on the soul's salvation has been broken. The people now know there is more than one road to liberation, and the road you take might be very different from your neighbors. The river bends ahead. I can feel the current pulling toward the end of an era. The Vedic world is about to enter a twilight, not an ending, but a transformation. And that, friends, is where we go next.